People always ask us, how did a pet company migrate into a company that is helping so many people with issues of immune support? And it really goes back to about 2010. My partners and I, particularly Steve Youngblood and Simon Liu, were involved in another company that was dealing with health and wellness. And Simon came to us at that time and said that his mother had taken a product 10 years before that was pretty remarkable. And this particular product was called the Coriolus versicolor mushroom. And the reason why she was taking it was she was being treated by Sloan Kettering Cancer Institute of New York, which is one of the largest and most respected cancer institutes in the nation and in the world. And they basically said that there was not much they could do for her past that particular point. She was aware of this particular product being used in Japan and also in China to help support the immune system. And it's common knowledge that the immune system is the body's first defense, God's first responders, as I like to call it, to everything that comes against the body, that is from the smallest of issues to the most catastrophic. And so she knew the doctor that had developed it. And this particular product really was discovered by Japanese researchers and Chinese researchers in the 1970s when they decided to take a look at the product in terms of its immune supporting capabilities, primarily because in ancient Egypt and also in ancient China, it was used as a food product, mushroom soup. And all they knew is that when people were sick, they would give them this food product and they would get better. They didn't know why. Wow. Kind of like the old chicken soup scenario, if you will.
Right.
But through the ages, it was continually used as an herb, particularly in the East, to help people that were not feeling well. The doctors discovered that it had this amazing ability to support the immune system. And what they did is they created a process to which they were able to take the mushroom at the mycelia stage, which, as everybody knows, is right before it becomes the fruited body. And they were able to extract the essence of the mushroom out, very similar to what you might think about taking orange juice and taking a concentrate on it. They were able to do that. And they put it in pill form. And the results that they got with patients that were dealing with some serious issues were quite remarkable. When Simon's mom had this issue and she started taking it, a couple of months later, she went back to Sloan Kettering and they couldn't find anything.
Wow.
And they were absolutely amazed by this. And what this did was trigger the first clinical study for Coriolus versicolor on its effect on the immune system. Now, it's important to realize here that the particular product that we're talking about doesn't cure anything. Doesn't cure, treat, mitigate, prevent any disease. What it does is that it supports the immune system. And the immune system is compromised as we get older. If you could maybe put this into perspective, it's like the body is constantly fighting all these little battles that are coming against it. And as we age, these battles become more and more prolific. And what our bodies do is there's only so much immune support to go around. Therefore, things start to come against our body that start to overtake it. So it just makes absolute sense that if you could do anything you can to support the immune system, that is really the desire to be able to get to a point to where you're not dealing with all these issues that are coming against you in such of an onslaughting nature. So what happened was we took the history of what happened to Simon's mom and we decided to do an infomercial on it. And we used Gino Ferrare as the host. She was my sister, of course, and Christina did a wonderful job. But we learned very, very quickly that there are certain things that we're not allowed to say. And we decided that we were going to do things right and not say those things and just stick with the immune support opportunity that this brings. And we did. And we did relatively well. We started to send this product out for humans, and the human beings that were taking it were reporting back with all kinds of wonderful results from issues that they're dealing with. And remember that anything that comes against the body, from the most smallest of concerns to the most catastrophic, is in the wide range of what this product is able to support. So we started doing that. We did quite well. And then around 2018, my dog had died of cancer. My partner's dog had died of bone cancer. His daughter had a dog that died at 4 years old of cancer. And we were all sitting around in our offices one day. We were commiserating on this particular issue. And we looked at each other and said, why don't we take the mushroom and put it into a dog treat? And we did. Shortly after that, we discovered that there was a study conducted by the University of Pennsylvania School of Veterinary Medicine that had said that dogs and cats that were given the Coriolus versicolor mushroom, who had cancer, lived longer than those that weren't given the Coriolus versicolor mushroom. So we started marketing it, and we started seeing remarkable results from pets. People were calling in, but it was happening a lot faster. And it was happening to the point to where dogs and cats were seeing significant results in their particular conditions within about 2 to 3 weeks, which is much faster than the human beings were. And we started getting notices from people saying, and letters, emails, hey, why don't you put this into a human product? And we all kind of chuckled and said, well, we already had it. So we brought it in, and we did it in a little thing called a pet parent corner at the time. And people were starting to buy it. And then all of a sudden, because of the nature of the way that we work with our marketing, which is affiliate marketing, people telling people being rewarded for doing that, it started to grow exponentially, really surprised us. And it became our biggest seller. So we then expanded it a little bit further. I'm talking about the human side, to Enforce Immune Support. Then we have Enforce Plus, which is Enforce with the reishi mushroom on it, which also helps with heart support, blood pressure support. Then we ended up with Enforce Restore, which was a product that is designed to help with support when it comes to pancreas and liver support. Then Enforce Clarity, which is a wonderful product that helps with cognitive issues, all natural and all tied to all these wonderful studies. So that's how a pet company ended up becoming a company selling products to people that are on the human side.
I believe the numbers are 1 out of every 1.65 dogs dies of cancer. Is it something like that?
Yeah.
And everybody I talk to, their dogs either have cancer, my sister being one of them, her dog had tumors all over its body.
Right.
And now those tumors are gone and the dog has lived for 23 years.
Right.
It's an amazing testimony. So I find personally that talking about the pets is a natural segue into talking about the human side and us taking the Enforce daily as a supplement.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's kind of a funny thing. When you talk to somebody about their own health, they're not as receptive. But when you talk to them about the health of their pets, they're extremely receptive. And this wasn't by design. Again, we just kind of discovered this as we started marketing. Our goal was to help pets and to help people as a result of that. But what I saw is that in the history of what we've been doing over the several years we've been doing it, I've had many people come up to me and say, thank you so much for helping my wife, helping me, helping my kids with whatever they were dealing with. And that was always wonderful and very encouraging to hear. But then when we started doing it with the pets, people will come up to me with tears in their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really an interesting difference. Their pets are everything. And I can tell you that I understand that. I have dogs as well and love those animals. They're part of our family.
Right.
And what we found is that if you go up to somebody and say, hey, are you concerned about your immune system? Most people look at you a little bit funny, but when you say, hey, how's your dog doing? How's your cat doing? You get into a 10-minute conversation.
That's so true.
And you don't do that because you're trying to extract something. I mean, you do that because you care.
Right.
And they come back with the information of, what their dog's doing and where my dad's got this and that. Say, hey, I'd like to make you aware of something. I don't know if you are cognizant of the fact that there's a company out there called PetClub 24/7 that actually has solutions for many of the issues that you're concerned about. Do you mind if I share that with you? And people are usually in a position to where they say, yeah, absolutely. What are you talking about? And then from there, they segue into the opportunity that exists to help them with the human side.
What separates PetClub from other companies? Because people will obviously want to know, okay, well, there's this company and then there's this company. What separates PetClub? What makes PetClub 24/7 different from the other companies?
Well, it has to do with this strain of the particular Coriolus versicolor that we use. It's the original formulation. Simon Liu's family, who's one of my partners, are personal friends with the doctors that had developed it. And it is a product that is an extraction process that they use that's exclusive and is proprietary. But it's also the fact that it is the original strain. It's almost akin to a wonderful sourdough bread recipe that goes back hundreds of years. If you've ever heard the story of some of the sourdough yeast formulations that are in San Francisco, for example, that go back hundreds of years and they just keep it alive. And that's exactly what these gentlemen do. Coriolus versicolor is grown all over the world. Okay, and that's something to understand. But these particular companies have been able to extract it by getting it from their particular growing source. Now, it's also important to say that all of our products are manufactured in the United States in an FDA-registered CMGP facility. And what that means is that it's tested for purity, make sure that there's nothing in it that shouldn't be there. It's bottled. And it's all in line with the FDA regulations as to how you are to manufacture a dietary supplement. Furthermore, Coriolus versicolor is recognized by the FDA as an official dietary supplement that they recognize. So that's what separates us.
Gino, tell me about if someone comes up to you and says, I'm struggling with cancer, or I'm struggling with this. Because for me personally, I've seen my PSA numbers go down. I've seen my blood pressure go down. I've seen my cholesterol go down. I take every enforced product that PetClub 24/7 has. I've seen great results. What would you say to someone that came up to you and said, I'm struggling with this. I'm hoping this product helps me. What would you say to that person?
Let me say this first to you. This particular product I'm going to talk to you about doesn't cure, treat, mitigate, or prevent anything. But what it does do is it supports your immune system. And it's up to your immune system to do what your immune system does best. So it just makes sense, if you're dealing with something that you're concerned about, to give your immune system as much support that you can possibly give it. I would then tell them that we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. And we say that with confidence because most people are satisfied with it. We have a 85% retention rate, which is really high in the nutraceutical business. So that tells us that something's right. I would say, give it a shot. What have you got to lose?
And can you address the 400 clinical studies? Would you talk to that person about that?
Yeah, of course I would, yeah. And I would tell them that as a Google search on Coriolus versicolor clinical studies would pop up the majority of them. I would tell them about Sloan Kettering Cancer Institute, MD Anderson Cancer Institute of Texas, Loma Linda University, Harvard University, which supports Beth Ariel, Israel, which is a hospital in Israel. There's Queensland Hospital. There are so many that I can't even remember off the top of my head, but they're all there. Another place to really find an interesting article on it is WebMD, which actually kind of gives an overview of what supporting issues can be tied directly to use with Coriolus versicolor. And our product, of course, that's the main ingredient with our Enforce products.
And there's a place where people can go to see testimonials.
Yeah, but again, we have to be cautious about that because we're told that you don't want to be promoting this as a medical product or a drug. So the testimonials are not posted by our company. You can find them out there. There are people that do it on their own. And we try to police that as much as we can. There are testimonials, particularly in the dogs. You will find testimonials for dogs and cats on our website. And then the human side, you have to dig a little deeper and find them if people do them individually.
Gino Ferrare, thank you for joining us today. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having me, Ray. I appreciate it.
All right.